They were looking at a scenario where every continent goes to war. I just want to point out some things. I divided the European and Asian half of Russia just for the sake of convenience for Europe. And you might notice that Asia is very divided. The green part is mainly like pro USA, and the purple part is mainly like pro Russian. So you can see like India is green, Turkey is green, Russia is purple, China is purple. Well, most of it at least. So yeah, we're just gonna see a continental battle royale. So first, we can see Europe keeping up with some traditions and instantly invading Africa, taking over Morocco and the Western Sahara, or at least what's left of it. They quickly push down and hope to take all of the Sahara Desert, just because it's a generally like unprotected place. They eventually able to take over most of it and cut Africa into two. Now, this was a bit of a spring offensive, meaning that it wasn't the most practical thing to do, as Africa is able to start pushing back after mobilizing to about a medium extent. We see the green part of Europe pushing into Iran, which is purple, and also launching an offensive into Yemen, which eventually wipes out the country or part of the continent. And yes, I did put on a medium on the green just because they're surrounded by green. We continue to see the push in to Iran until almost all the country is knocked out, and we almost see a connected front. But eventually, the purple realizes what's going on and fortifies this area. We also see the capturing of Mongolia and a push into South Korea. Over in North America, we kind of have them just chilling out for now, as they are waiting to invade South America and hopefully take it over. This is also inspired by Adas Pro. Oceania, after mildly mobilizing, we can see them pushing into Indonesia, taking over lots of small islands and half of the Philippines. Over in Africa, we can see a naval landing into Purple Asia. This is just so they can get some they can just be allies with Green Asia, as Africa is kind of on their own, but whatever. So yes, we do see Africa pushing into Purple Europe and pretty much connecting the front, which they allow Green to pass through. With this, now we have two continents basically united against Purple Europe. Although Australia is pro-American, we still see them fighting for their lives, as they're able to take a lot of Green Asia, as they're over here mainly. Going back to Europe and Africa, we can see Africa launching their own spring offensive, and spending lots of materials on it, and also invading into Green Asia, cutting it into two. Although this is eventually taken down. After using a lot of resources, Africa is pretty vulnerable, and they get split into two yet again and encircled. We then see a push down, and they decide to leave Chad alone because they're too scared to go after it this time, and another large encirclement is made. Eventually, we see the North America fully mobilizing and pushing down from the Panama Canal right into South America. I almost said Suez Canal, but whatever. I guess this part would technically be pink because that's French Guiana, but I don't care. Ugh. We continue to see the push in of North American troops into South America. They mainly avoid the jungle because USA doesn't like those because they're scary. They very scary. We eventually see them capturing the South American capital of Brasilia. We then see the continuing push into South America until all of its northern half is wiped out, and then we see this complete surrender of South America. So that was a lot to take in, but I just kind of want to rush through this video because I don't care. I'm just tired. Okay. We see Green Vietnam gaining an ally by Purple Asia, and them also settling down Macau and Hong Kong. We do see Taiwan and Japan making an invasion into Purple Asia, as it's the next logical step. This does come at a cost, as South Korea is wiped out. We see Japan going for some old history and taking over all of this island, which gives them lots of oil supply. We also see them trying to cut off China from the Korean Peninsula so they can just kind of wipe through it. That plan is successful, and they are able to succeed. Before Taiwan can take Nanking for itself, Japan does it, commits a few atrocities there, the usual. Eventually, we see an accidental border skirmish on Africa and Green Asia, leading to the end of the alliance. I also did that so the map looks better. We see Green Asia finally putting their foot down and going into Africa. The plan, basically a Neo-Ottoman Empire, is to capture the African coast, which they're very good at doing until they're split into two. We see Oceania's progress being stopped as they're starting to be pushed out of Green Asia and Indonesia, and also Malaysia, and Brunei is recaptured. We see Purple Asia gathering their troops and wanting to launch an invasion into Europe. Although, coincidentally, Europe did the exact same thing, so we see mainly a stalemate until after a few months, Purple Asia is able to start pushing in, and they also took parts of Green Asia as well. We see dang it. We see them getting pretty far into Europe, and they're able to take over lots of countries. But that's not Europe's main problem right now, as they still want to invade all of Africa. What? So yeah, this is happening now. Why does it do this to me? Just why? Can I draw on this? No. Okay. Let me. What if I reset it? I literally didn't intend for this. I love inconveniences. Anyways, back to the video. If this will actually, yep, that works. So eventually, we do see Europe pulling out some of its troops in Africa, which leads to a pushback, and then regathering to go back into Purple Asia, which they're able to take over Ukraine and Belarus and Finland, basically most of their old lands. We also see them cutting off a lot of Turkey from itself and invading the rest of it. We see them pushing down into Georgia and taking down Azerbaijan, even with the power rule of national anthems and large KFCs. They're still dead. We do see the Europeans recapturing Moscow and continuing their push into the rest of Russia, which is pretty pointless, but whatever. Another encirclement happens, leading to a continuing fall of Purple Asia's biggest country. Green Asia takes the time to get to take back Turkey and Azerbaijan, as well as the Caucasus. And now everyone's in somewhat of a stalemate. North America decides to take actions into their own hands by invading some European African islands. We see North America launching an invasion into Africa and Europe, and eventually it looks something like this. It might have been European Africa, I don't know. We see Africa decide to team up with North America for a while until almost all of Europe is completely kicked out. Green Asia takes the opportunity to not only take out some of their enemies, but also to keep continuing to push down the African coast, which they're able to capture about half of it. We see the naval invasion of Madagascar, and right now it's looking very good for Green Asia. This doesn't last though, as Taiwan is starting to be pushed back, and eventually the island is taken over after heavy offensive. With this, Purple Asia is extremely weakened, as Taiwan isn't the easiest thing to invade. It's extremely mountainous, and in World War II they wanted to invade Japanese Taiwan, but it was suspected they would need 2 million troops, which is larger than D-Day. So yeah, we see Europe continuing their push into Purple Asia, and Green Asia does the same, as they're able to take over Hong Kong and Macau, and eventually are able to re-rescue Taiwan. Taiwan, not Taiwan. We see North America decide to use Alaska to their advantage by pushing into the rest of Russia, and eventually Purple Asia decides to surrender. After some more battles, that is. We see it being split up very quickly, with North America getting this part. We have Europe getting this part, and Green Asia, which is just Asia now, getting the rest. We see the main rivalry being between Europe and Asia, and Asia is determined to end this. They capture the province of Xinjiang, and decide to encircle parts of Europe. This leads to a bit of an awkward front between North America and Asia, and they kind of just stare at each other awkwardly. We do see Australia or Oceania pushing back up into Asia, taking over all of Indonesia and Malaysia. We see them taking over about half of the southern part, southeast Asia. That was really weird to say. And we even see them pushing and taking over parts of Madagascar. We see Australia deciding to go a little imperial here, as they take over the coast of North and South America, or at least the east coast, or the west coast. Yeah, the west coast. So now we have a decently sized Australia here, and that actually looks good. This should be real life. Australia should have been in World War II on the Axis. Prove me wrong. They still should have lost, but that has some awesome borders. We see Asia decide to take over against a weakened North America by splitting their Asian part into two, taking out the rest of it. Green Asia continues to put it's not even green, screw it. Asia continues to push into Europe as North America is concentrated on taking out Australia, which they're able to do in small amounts, but it's taking a while. After months of fighting, Australia is fully pushed out, and Asia and North America decide to make a temporary pact to take out Australia. Madagascar is recaptured under Asian control, and we see the push. And we see the Asia pushing out Australia out of Southeast Asia. That was really very weird to say. Very weird to say. Wow. We have North America doing classic island hopping, taking out all of the small islands that Oceania owns. We see them capturing the Oceania capital, which is the Australian capital right now, and taking over the rest of the continent. There's a bit of a buffer zone which the teams decided to leave alone. We eventually see public enemy number one being Europe, as Africa is able to take the rest of it. We see North America and Africa and Asia deciding to all just group up and take it out. We have North America capturing Iceland and starting the invasion of Western Europe. We see Asia going into the Balkans and basically reforming the Ottoman Empire, as well as taking over Southern Europe. I'm not going to question what's going on outside. We see Africa making a massive spike through, taking over Germany and the rest of France. And then we see North America just being North America. Asia continues the assault, driving into the rest of Russia.